It's Nolan. What's going on, y'all? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music and entertainment commentary and breakdowns. Today, we're going to be leaning more heavily on the side of commentary because, as y'all should know, Megan Thee Stallion recently did an interview with Women's Health magazine, and within that interview, she actually spoke about Rebirth, her forthcoming album, which is still untitled. We don't know all the details on that just yet. She's staying very tight-lipped, even though the tour is about to begin very soon. She spoke about fitness. Of course, she's talking to Women's Health magazine, so she's talking about fitness, changing up her diet, all of these different things, creating new habits for success and allowing herself to shed old habits, old ways, old people, and things that may have been holding her back or things that just weren't allowing her to see things as clearly as she possibly could. So what I'm going to do today is actually peruse through the interview, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes I do this because I know a lot of folks don't read. You might hear something, you might see quotes from it. The photos have been circulating online, but a lot of people don't know the exact quotes. People don't know all the context. So sometimes when an artist does these types of interviews, but they don't necessarily come out with video versions of those conversations, I like to try to jump into them and allow people to, get a glimpse into where these artists' mindset is, because sometimes the best interviews could be the ones written in text. But a lot of us have things going on, instant gratification on social media, the Twitter wars, keeping up with all of that stuff. It's easy for these types of interviews to just fall by the wayside, all right? So again, the title of this article is called The Rebirth of Megan Thee Stallion. They say, with the third album on the way, hip-hop's It Girl is in her strongest era yet. Here the Grammy-winning rapper reveals how she quiets the noise of haters, hypes herself up, and embraces a revamped approach to health and wellness, all right? Now, I'm not going to read the entire article. You know what I mean? You could go check that out on womenshealthmag.com if you want to do that. But we're going to try to get bullet points and key points within this conversation, right? So they say Megan Thee Stallion has changed. She's a new woman head to toe thanks to a period of transformation, which included learning how to become the ultimate hype woman for herself. And as anybody in any facet of life, you have to be willing to hype yourself up. You got to be able to look yourself in the mirror, get up out of bed, go do your shit. And sometimes people ain't always going to be supportive of you. They're going to have negative things to say about you, whatever the case may be. But you got to have that strong moral compass within yourself that allows you to be unwavered throughout whatever is in your path. You get what I'm saying? So they say the proof is in the clips of her workout she posts on social media. She delivers fast-talking, hilarious voiceover about powering through booty-burning donkey kicks by renaming them Stallion kicks. All right? So we already know how she does on social media, her TikToks and all of that stuff, showing her fitness journey. We've been seeing that for the greater part of probably like a year and some change, really 2 years. They say Megan, 29, playfully tosses strands of blonde hair out of her face as she declares to me of her ability to incite inspo. She says, I'm that girl, but let's be honest, getting out of the bed to work out in the morning is a struggle. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. She says, I have to get mentally prepared. I'm like, I can stay here for another hour, or I can get up and go work out and be a bad bee. If I want to be a stallion and not a pony, I got to get up and put in the work. All right? So again, we know all of this good shit. They say the dedication of her grind has played a massive part in her becoming an undeniable force in music and entertainment, going from playing small gigs in Houston in the mid-2010s to dominating the charts with number one hits like Body and the Grammy Award-winning Savage remix with Beyonce. She has secured her spot as hip-hop's hot girl, and with her third album on the way via her imprint, Hot Girl Productions, her own label. We've talked at length about that, how she got that independent distribution deal with Warner, big-time deal, keeping her masters, keeping her publishing and everything. They talk about her desire to do even more. So from there, she's looking forward to doing more acting roles. After appearing in the movie Dix the Musical, she showed up in the TV show P-Valley. They say she's showing no signs of slowing down. This is a direct quote from her. She says, I always feel like I got to do something better. She says of her drive, I can't be stuck. I can't be stagnant. Okay? Now, the reason why she says that is because a few years ago, she actually felt stagnated and stuck. In July of 2020, she was shot by rapper and former friend Tory Lanez. We've also talked at length about that scenario on the channel, all the windfall, the backlash, the speculation, the friendship fallouts, all of that stuff. We've definitely talked about that on this channel as well. And of course, Tory Lanez was found guilty in December of 2022, which left Megan bloodied, unable to walk, and with bullet fragments in her feet. Okay? They say over time she healed physically, but mentally she suffered. She says, a lot of people didn't treat me like I was human for a long time, right? She says, I feel like everybody was always used to me being the fun and happy party girl. I watched people build me up, tear me down, and be confused about their expectations of me. As a black woman, as a darker black woman, I also feel like people expect me to take the punches, take the beating, take the lashes, and handle it with grace, but I'm human. So at this point, you know, this was probably her first time that the industry started to have kind of a mixed batch of feelings about her, right? She came onto the scene and found success fast. And when I say found success fast, I mean she put out Big Ol' Freak and certain other records that was like on the heels of her signing with 1501, and people gravitated to her rather quickly. She took off. Next thing you know, she was all over, right? So by the time this Tory Lanez thing came into the fold, you had so many people that were divided, that were trying to figure out how they felt about her, how they felt about the situation. Did they believe that it happened? Do they believe that it happened the way that they say it happened, right? And then there was an additional 2 years of back and forth, court dates, and just things playing out publicly to where people in the industry, her peers, even started to unfollow her, watch from a distance. You know what I'm saying? So she definitely went through some things. Whether you like Megan or not, you got to acknowledge, you know, there's not a lot of people that would necessarily be able to hold up going through that. A lot of people would have given up or done something to themselves, but she's still here. She says, they say that she suppressed her true feelings for a while, appearing to love every moment of superstardom. But as Megan's career continued to heat up, her raunchy collab WAP with Cardi B became the first female rap duet to debut at the top of the U.S. Billboard Hot 100. But at that very same time, she was also struggling behind the scenes, so they say. She says, before I went on stage, I would be crying half the time because I did not want to perform, but I also didn't want to upset my fans. Wow. Did not know that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I guess if you look at the timeline, the way that it played out, it makes a lot of sense because it was all simultaneously happening at the same time. But on the same token, it felt like WAP was so big that at a certain point, it overshadowed a lot of that other stuff. She says the weight of her emotions eventually caught up with her, leading to what she called dark times. She said, I didn't want to get out from under the covers. I stayed in my room. I would not turn the lights on. I had blackout curtains. I didn't want to see the sun. She said, I knew I wasn't myself. It took me a while to acknowledge that I was depressed, but once I started talking to a therapist, I was able to be truthful with myself. So she had to get real with herself and do that self-exploration and evaluation, you know, to make sure that she was in good standing, or do the work to actually get to that good standing. They state therapy was just the beginning of Megan's healing. She also ended relationships that no longer served her and deleted social media from her phone to avoid trolls and doom scrolling. Then she was inspired to move her body as she started mending her soul. So I guess this is what led her into the working out process. Some people believe that she got some sort of liposuction or surgery done on her, you know, but as of now, all we know of is intense workouts, right? So they lay it out 4 or 5 days a week. Megan sweats it out in Pilates class, at the gym, or at the beach with one of her 2 trainers, Emery Jacques Bernard and Tim Boot. For cardio, she runs up sand hills at the beach or spends 40 minutes on a Stairmaster or elliptical. When targeting her legs and thighs, she does hip thrusts, goblet squats, leg extensions, and those Stallion kicks that they talked about in the beginning. She does weighted sit-ups to work her abs. She does lat pull-downs, lat flies, and renegade rows to strengthen her back. So she's doing some real shit out here, man. We've seen videos of her out in the mountains, out at the beach. You know what I'm saying? So we've seen all of this stuff play out. She says, I'm in a space where I feel good mentally, so I want to look as good as I feel. You know what I mean? And of course, she has a sportswear collection with Nike geared primarily towards women who want to do the same thing, who want to get on their fitness journey and want to look good while doing it. And so she says the appeal is having strong legs. She says you look like you can jump high. She says she loves that look. On her way to achieving her ideal physique, Megan noticed that no matter how much she worked, she still had a little gut. So she leveled up her diet by scaling back on bread, tuna melts, and red meat. So she was big on them tuna sandwiches. Red meat, eliminating sugary drinks like soda, juice, and cognac. Of course, we know she was big on them Hennessy, drinking that motherfucker through the straw. You know what I mean? So she cut back on all of those things. Today, she drinks about a gallon of water a day and instead reaches for tequila rather than that brown stuff. When Megan realized she no longer felt bloated and her skin became noticeably clear, she knew that she was on the right track. Okay? Furthermore, they state that she also wanted to feel better. It wasn't all just about appearance. And from there, she eased long-standing stomach issues. We keep hearing about stomach issues. Gut health is definitely a conversation that's on the rise. A lot of people are dealing with, trying to figure that out, how to maintain or enhance the gut health. So for her, she started consuming more nutrient-rich foods like avocados, right? She also maintains healthy eating habits by drinking a strawberry, banana, almond milk, and protein powder smoothie or a green juice in the morning before working out. Other parts of her meal contain, or just meal prep in general, contain eating pan-seared salmon for lunch and having sea bass or cod for dinner, along with tomatoes, sweet potatoes, kale, or brown rice. She snacks on cucumber slices with salt and pepper and cherry tomatoes with light balsamic vinaigrette. So she's giving y'all, for all y'all stallions and hotties out there, you know what I'm saying? She's giving y'all the roadmap on how to get like her. You feel me? Now, I don't know if it's all going to work out to the same benefit. You know what I mean? It might take a little time. But she's giving y'all the diet. She's giving y'all the smoothies. She's giving y'all the workout regimen. So, again, if you're trying to get something like that, you might want to lean in that direction. You feel me? However, she says that she still enjoys pepper jack cheese and dark chocolate. Those are guilty pleasures that she will not give up. So she says, I am still a Southern girl, so I like to eat what I want. I just don't go overboard. Right? Now, outside of just doing that, of course, we're talking about health, wellness, and just, leaning into what makes you happy. They say that she has also been journaling, right? Which has led to writing deeper rhymes. So if you notice on Cobra and Hiss, I know I definitely noticed as a hip hop fan, as a fan of lyricism, I feel like those last two records that she put out, she definitely has been digging deeper when it comes to writing her bars. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to the structure, when it comes to the content that she's willing to talk about, stretching herself beyond the surface. I think she tried to do that on Traumazine. And some of y'all may have liked Traumazine. I've always maintained that I wasn't a huge fan of that project, but I did see that she was trying to dig deep and go into, personal trauma and deal with that stuff. But I just feel like the last couple records she did have really exemplified her improvements. And I'm cool. I'm happy about that. You know what I mean? I'm always going to push for people to become better lyricists. So yeah, they say it's helped her write deeper rhymes and transforming how she shows her self-love. By jotting her emotions down daily, Megan says she's moving away from the tendency to slip into using hate language toward herself, and instead she's discovering a more positive approach to the way she speaks to and about herself, which again is very key for, living a positive, healthy, balanced lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to pour into yourself with negativity. That's like pouring rocks into your cup and then consuming the shit. Why would you want to do that? So every morning, she reserves time for journaling, meditation, praying. She applies a hydrating face mask, plays with her dogs, and listens to music. Currently in her rotation are Linkin Park, 3 6 Mafia, Paramore, and UGK. I'm not surprised by that playlist. Linkin Park, 3 6 Paramore. So that kind of shows you she's mixing Southern crunk, Southern hype music. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that's authentic to where she's from with a little bit of rock. Again, we heard that very paramount in Cobra with the rock influence, the guitar and everything. So that makes a lot of sense. She says alone time is something that she needs, and she likes getting up, being able to be at peace. In her everyday life, she speaks with so many people. When she performs, she takes on so many energies. She says, I like to recharge my battery, let the start of the day be about me. Then I can give my energy to everybody else. So at this point, you're starting to catch on to all of the things that are helping her to improve. And you can see it, right? You can see it in her skin. You can see it in her physique. She's more toned. And when I say toned, I don't mean like she's ripped. I mean, she's just more toned in terms of like trimming and slimming. Even in her face, you know what I mean? There was a point where her face was getting a little rounder, you know what I mean? Throughout the pandemic. So you can see all of the results of this said work. And of course, like I said, you can hear the results in her writing too. So they say that she does most of her best writing in the shower. She feels most powerful when writing and recording, and her next album will be her strongest yet. She says, I was inspired to create this album about rebirth because I am becoming a new person physically and mentally. She says she chose a snake as the project's motif because it is emblematic of her renewal. They're feared, misunderstood, respected, and healing, right? So for anybody out there, I know y'all, I know there's some people that don't rock with Megan, and they feel like she chose the snake, and they're like, see, she a snake, you can't trust him. Well, you might be right. You know what I'm saying? I don't know this woman from a motherfucking can of paint, but she says that it has a deeper meaning, right? Which of course we saw that in the music videos, the shedding of the skin, creating a new person, right? Even in the Hiss video, there was different iterations of herself throughout that process. You had emergence of Tina Snow, you had the regular Megan, you had the melding of the two into one. So there's a lot going on in terms of who she is, discovering who she is, and transforming that, right? So again, she even goes into a little description about these records. She says on Cobra, she discusses battling anxiety, depression, thoughts of suicide, and the death of both of her parents. And then there's Hiss, where she comes at those who tried to threaten her peace, right? On the first track, Cobra, she displayed sensitivity, while on the second, it's all about fierce energy. Admittedly, she battles with showing both emotions in her music. She says, I've always struggled to figure out how to be vulnerable and still make music that is going hard at the same time. But she's learning that showing her softer side doesn't mean she's compromising her strength, even when social pressures might cause her to feel otherwise. She says, I'm getting into a better space with making music that is still true to myself, but also true to my message. And I'm very much a flower, but my flower has thorns, so don't fuck with her. Right? So there we have that. I'm going to scroll through to see if there's any more. That's actually the entire interview. So there's that. You know, she didn't give too much description on the album, right? Because at this point, she's still not talking about it at length. We don't know who all is going to be involved, who's producing. I hope Lil Ju does the majority, if not all of it. We don't know features. I would hope we get another Glorilla feature, since they're, in a good space right now. It would be pretty dope to see her get another Cardi feature. They worked very closely throughout the pandemic. There was actually talks of them putting out an entire EP together. I don't know where they stand today on that particular project. I know Megan was actually advocating for that, but we may never see that come to light. Some folks that we also saw working on a similar plan were Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole. For the first few years of them being in the industry and getting their debut albums and all of that stuff out, behind the scenes, they were working on an album. They were hanging out really tough. We never got that album. And now, just a few days ago, we saw that they were, actually dealing with the prospect of going head to head with each other. We've talked enough about that. J. Cole and his apology and letting it be known that his heart wasn't in that battle. There are some people out there that want to see Cardi and Megan go head to head and battle it out. People that have spread rumors out about different quotes and stuff that have not really been confirmed, but people really want to see them duke it out. So hopefully all is well between all parties, and that they can actually move forward and make this manyan, get this music out there, and figure out their destination, how they got to. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we have on that. In other Megan news, there was also There was also this video of her confronting her best friend for not introducing her to a new man. She says, "I don't even know this nigga." I'm gonna play the clip for y'all. Of course, this is a little bit of a sensitive subject, especially for all my Megan fans out there. I know a lot of y'all discovered my channel because of me talking about Megan and the beef and all of that good stuff. But as y'all know, I keep it very balanced. I keep it very even keel on all people that I talk about. So just in the same breath that I give you love, if there's something that's funny, I'm going to call it out. I'm going to say what it is, and it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's very ironic that you talking about your best friend's new man when rumors say the last one that came around, y'all got in a little entanglement. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how you ended up tying your sneakers with her sneakers with his sneakers, but soon as somebody started taking some steps forward, everybody fell. You know what I'm saying? That's all I can say on that. But let's listen to what Megan had to say to her friend. You know what I mean?
No, you just got a new... I don't even know them because I'm flabbergasted. What's your wasabi, though? Why would you dip in my shit with a new boyfriend? Who is this? Y'all know my best friend, Jayla. Scoot in closer. All right. You need to scoot in. Hey, guys. My day one best friend, my realest best friend, my only best friend. I'm gonna try a little bit of this. So I'm gonna get a little bit of wasabi. Wasabi that you got. Why would you dip in my stuff? There's no other eel sauce. There's no other eel sauce. That was the one dip that I took. I didn't even double dip. What's wrong? You know you just got a new... Now look at your wasabi in my eel sauce. That's not... I just ate all of my wasabi, first of all. I don't even know that all of a sudden... I mean, that's you. Dipping in my... That's your wasabi. What a new... I'm sorry, I did yell. Because I'm flabbergasted. What's your wasabi, though? Why would you dip in my shit with a new boyfriend? Who is this? Who is this? What's my wasabi, though? Who is this? It's my man, but that's not my wasabi. I'm mad. I'm mad as a bitch. No, you are not. That is not my wasabi. That is yours. That is not my... Claim them. I don't even know this.
All right, so there y'all have it. And I mean, in the context of things, it seems that they're just having fun. They're just talking. It's a little bit of banter between friends, right? We don't need to take this too far, but of course everybody's gonna take this and run with it, especially those that don't like Megan, right? But it does read a little bit funny because given the history, you know what I'm saying? It seems that you do be in this. You ain't trying to share your wasabi, but you might be into sharing some other forms of meat out here. Okay, so you know, but keeping it light. You know, basically she was just. It looked like Megan don't like to share food. I think that's the real thing. Megan, like, don't be dipping in my motherfucking plate. Don't be dipping in my wasabi. You know what I'm saying? Like, do what you got to do over there. Don't be dipping in my shit. You know what I'm saying? But again, when you dipping your feet, you dipping your toes into another pond, people gonna hold that against you, especially when people see it online. And we already know the narrative. We already know how things played out. This is how you ended up in some of these predicaments that we see that you've had to, you know, get your mental health together, get the journaling, get the working out, get the, you know what I mean? People blame you. I can't say what's real, what's not. Hey, I'm be honest. When it came to the past situation, y'all saw what I said. I said I feel like they was in a triple threat match. You know what I'm saying? Apparently, it was the big three. Apparently, that was the big three that was going on back in the G during the pandemic. Okay, now today she could say it's just Big Me, but at one point it was a big three. And shout out to Jayla. She said, "Hey, You ain't gonna meet this nigga, okay? Much respect to Megan. Hope everything works out. Interested to hear what the new album is hitting on. Interested to see what this next single is going to be hitting on, if or when it drops. You know, hopefully they could go ahead and get this whole movement ramped up. We ready to hear this shit. We ready to hear the music. You know what I mean? All this stuff is cool. You doing all this stuff in Japan, right? You doing all this modeling, all this fashion shit. You coming out with all these different outfits on Instagram, and the outfits been fire. But I come here for the music. I'm ready for the music. Let me press play on some shit and see what you talking about. All right? That's all I got for y'all on this one. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit the post notification bell for all updates. Be sure to share. You know what I'm saying? Let other people know about your boy J Nolan. Let them become insiders. You feel me? We building a community over here. We on our way to 11,000 strong. We want to keep building. We're trying to get to that 15, trying to get to that 20 and up. 20K, that is. When we get to that 20K, I'm going to play my song 20K for y'all in the stream. But, you know, till then, we're going to keep this thing moving. I will see y'all on the next one. More content on coming. Much love and respect. I'll see y'all later. Peace.
King of my city in cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. But drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.